טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
What would you have said if I had said Shabbat Shebang? How about if I say Shalom Alechem and you say Alechem Shalom? Shalom Alechem.
Alechem Shalom.
Right, so we say, may peace be upon you all. It's a nice way of translating that here in Nashville, Tennessee. I am, as always, Philip Rice. They call me Rabbi Flip, and that is Miss Lisa Silver. And I think at least a golf clap as we warm up for Shabbat Shaban that's back in the house.
First time they've played together in almost a year and a half.
Getting the band back together. That's what starts to happen during the month of Elul. So do this for me just briefly. Stand up for a second. So in the month of Elul, we're supposed to hear the shofar every single day. Who's heard it every single day so far? Of course not, so I'm going to blow it a couple times, make up for those numbers. And you're supposed to not really blow it on Shabbos, and it's not Shabbos yet, but, I mean, ultimately, we blow it on Shabbos here, because that's when you guys come. And we're always honored to have you here, especially as we celebrate this extra little Shabbat shebang. We were very concerned about the weather. So we can't always get it right. We just always try. And there is certainly a bang in our Shabbos tonight because the world is starting to bubble up a little bit, at least according to the regular calendar, which means kids are back in school, whether their masks are fighting it. That it means that we are focused on this sacred time of year when the community, many of whom will come and lots of whom will watch, and we welcome all of you watching too, will start to do this self-examination. And we do it together here at Micah, but it's kind of an inside job. It's kind of something that we have to do alone. And what we do shines a little light on our souls. And even though it is bright and beautiful in this room, as it often is at Congregation Micah, and will continue to get brighter and more musical as the evening goes, we're going to bring more light in by starting just as God began at the very beginning, by lighting our Shabbos candles. And we are lucky that Craig and Nanette Avery have volunteered to do such. So they're going to come up here on the bima, and we will eventually sing together.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu
Okay, we will rise officially and begin to tell the story of the Jewish people as we mark this holy moment with the words of Hatzi Kaddish.
Yitgaral v'yitkadash Shamei Rabbah.
Amen.
Ba'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayachon v'yom echon uv'chayerecho Beit Yisrael b'gala uv'zman kariv v'yimaru.
Amen.
Yehei Shemei Rabbah Mavorach La'olam Ul'almei Almaya Yitbarach Yitbarach v'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh V'yithadar v'yitalev v'yitalal Shemei Dekudeshah Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata Tushbechata v'nechemata Damiran belma v'himaru.
Amen.
Yay, lay, 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 lay,
I invite you to take your seats. If you want to close your eyes, we're going to get to the Shema here in a moment. Shema is about oneness, it's about unity, so try this. Think of someone that is not your favorite person. I'm not saying you want them to get COVID or something, you want them to get in some terrible, but it won't work if you think of someone you really don't like. It has to be someone that just, is not your favorite person. But you've got to think about this recognition that God told us that we were all created in this divine image, and that is some reflection of you, and therefore, as hard as it is, we try to love that part. So now let that go, because it's going to be easier. And if you want, close your eyes. And if you need the words, we're going to put them up here. And we're going to think about our unity and the fact that we're connected to all of it, even the parts we don't like. And here are the words. So some of you are new, a lot of you are regulars. People familiar with our community that are really immersed in it are aware that the wonderful Celia Lurch, our executive director, has left us for a little while. And so we've been writing a little thin, which is to say we're all a little tired, we're doing what we can to prepare for the holidays. And not every week, but usually Miss Lisa Silver and I sit right over there, of course, a couple of seats apart because we're very appropriate. And we go over the slide deck to make sure that you guys have all the words to everything so you can sing along. And we sat right here like 2 hours ago. And we just skipped Vehafta, so it's like not in my outline and it's not.
I was wondering that myself.
So here's what we're gonna do. You guys are gonna get ready for Mika Mocha. And I'm going to give you this spiritual exercise about love. You're getting ready to leave. It's a journey. You're not coming back. It's a journey that the Jewish people have actually taken a lot of times. They left Egypt, and they didn't go back. And they left Israel, and they left Europe, and they left Eastern Europe. And what are you bringing? You got like 30 seconds, and then they're going to start playing. What are you bringing with you that's going to bring you some sense of hope and comfort of what it was like to be where you were, but you're excited about where you're going?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, we're rule breakers, so just stay where you are. It's my only way into the band. And someone thinks that's going to spin and hit the candle, so we'll see how that goes all evening. There's a lot less kids here than I thought there would be, so it's a little less dramatic. But that being the case, it's time now for our prayer for protection. And we just invite you to sing along.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom V'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom V'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim Ufrosh aleinu Sukkot Shlom Erecha
untoward things that happens in Judaism happen today. It was not exactly on the front page of the Forward magazine or anything, but the Jewish world got a little stronger because somebody joined us. And we've gotten to know her a little while over Torah study, and Rabbi Lori has worked with her for quite some time. And Ava Chalef is going to come up here for a little bit. You can clap because it's like a joyous thing. So one of the powerful things I think about joining the Jewish people is knowing that there are people out there that don't always think so fondly of us and still just choosing to cast your lot with a group of people who I think Ava has found to be thoughtful and questioning and true to the word faith, because we challenge what we often think and we test it. And so today we sat in what's called a Beit Din. 3 knowledgeable Jews met at Congregation Shereth Israel, the Orthodox synagogue in town, and immersed this young lady into the Jewish community. And she's going to say a few words, and then we're going to bless her.
Hello. Thanks, Rabbi Flip. So just wanted to share a few bits of kind of how I made this decision and how I got here. So I'm going to share that with you. I grew up with a Christian mother and a Jewish father, and so I was blessed with experiences from both of those worlds. I grew up in a Christian church, but as I grew older, I had teenage priorities, and those things drifted, and my outlook on life changed. And in my early 20s, I discovered how impactful community is, meditation, and just how helping others are powerful mechanisms for healing. In 2018, my father died from pancreatic cancer. I'd always felt close to my father's family. I felt like I belonged with them and that I was always accepted by them no matter what. The grief of his loss fueled a deeper exploration into my spiritual journey, which sparked a calling to seek out my Jewish heritage. At the end of 2019, I met my now partner, Michael, and we began having conversations about what it meant or could mean to be Jewish. I felt more and more drawn to the Jewish people, both through the death of my father and those lives of the people I hold closest to me. We moved to Nashville last year in June and instantly connected with the local Jewish groups. And last fall, we joined wonderful congregation Micah, and I finally felt at home. Throughout this process, I've continually felt more and more sure of my decision. With every book, class, Torah study, conversation, and Shabbat service, the calling home to Judaism has resounded louder and louder. And by choosing Judaism, I'm choosing what I see as the right lens for my life. So I feel very welcome here, and I thank you all for always being like family.
A little bit in front of the camera. I think, Michael, you should come too. That was pretty articulate. I better have a good blessing. I'm going to wrap you. That's all right. Okay. We say Eloheinu v'Elokei Avotenu v'Imotenu. We ask that this God who blessed any and all of the ancestors who came before us bless you as you continue on this journey here with us at Congregation Micah. We ask that God remind you to share all of your simchas, all of your joyous times with us, bringing greater joy into the life of the Jewish people. And also to know that we are here for you in hard times. May you have very few. We want 3 things for you. We want you to live a life of Torah, like we tell all of our young people. And by that, we don't just mean that Zoom Torah study that you attend, but also that you explore all the talents that you have in the many ways that you have them, live and flourish in them. We want you to live a life of chuppah, that one day with your partner, you find total fulfillment. And we want you to live a life of ma'asim tovim, of doing good deeds, because that makes you not only a better person, but it makes the world a better place. And we take those 3 things and we wrap them in this threefold benediction, which always sounds better when Miss Lisa sings it.
Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May God bless you and keep you safe always.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
May God's face shine upon you, and when that happens, may you smile.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
May God's countenance shine upon you and through you, and may you be granted the greatest gift. May you always have a sense of shalom, a sense of wholeness and peace. Everybody says, okay, cue the band. Mazel tov. Thanks to you, but also thank you to us. We continue now as I invite you all to please rise for tefillah.
Adonai tzifatai tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise.
And we continue silently.
Sim shalom, tova uvracha. Sim shalom, sim shalom, tova uvracha. Sim shalom, tova uvracha. Sim shalom, tova uvracha. We each hold a gift, man and woman, boy and girl. There's as many pieces of this gift as people in the world. And if we put them all together, maybe we can find a way to build a peaceful world one day. Sim shalom, tova uvracha. Sim shalom, tova uvracha. Sim shalom, tova uvracha. Sim shalom, tova uvracha. Sim shalom, tova uvracha.
All right, just for my own knowledge and feedback, raise your hand if you open the emails that came today that was entitled Cancellations, Dinner, and Torah Study. Oh, okay. See, we get good openings. All right, that's very good. So you read the quote that said that humility is the key to true and effective communication. Right. We plan our services. There were like 120 people that RSVP'd. RSVP is not a Hebrew word. We know what it means. And most of them were children. So, are you guys having fun over there? It's going to get really good in like 2 or 3 minutes. What about over there? Okay. So, this is the adult portion for about 3 more minutes. And then we're going to try and have fun and be kid-like. That's what we'll do. We think about people who actually are sick. That's what we do. And from our community, we continue to think about Steve Geringer and Savannah Morris and Jane Sherberg and Paul Richter, Crystal Miller and Charlie Baugh, Monte Chance, Mickey Collins, TJ Cohen, Lisa Silver and Dick Eskin, Steve Gould, B.B. Weinstein, Alex Morgan, Bill Drongowski, Mark Cohen, Rudy Saperstein, Polly Lankford, Lee Cohen, Clarence Yarbrough, Connie Yarber, Gail Hooper, Julie Collins, Edria Ragusin, and Janice Grossman. Other people you're thinking of.
Susan Burdine.
All people who are sick, anywhere, COVID or otherwise, we offer a prayer for healing. We invite you, of course, to sing along.
For the hurt of body and of soul, for the suffering and pain, as you heal the ones who came before, may you heal us just the same. Refuah hanefesh ve'haguf elna rifana rifainu Adonai refuah shalema. Refuah hanefesh ve'haguf elna rifana rifainu Adonai refuah shalema. For the hurt of body and of soul, for the suffering and pain, as you heal the ones who came before, may you heal us just the same. As you heal the ones who came before, may you heal us just
if I knew you guys were coming, I would have written some sermon for you. But instead, I delved deep into the Jewish tradition to tell a story. You guys want some candy? I'm just going to start with the ribe early. So you get another piece if you laugh at the right parts, okay? You're going to have one. You're not driving, are you? Okay. Yeah? All right. Good call. No worries. I'm coming. Don't worry. I didn't forget about you. Oh, decision time. Okay. Okay. I wouldn't have cared if you grabbed two. Okay. You need something? Anybody? You're going to make it through? It's not a long story. I like to tell, I don't tell it every year, but it's actually the first story I told to Congregation Micah after I got the job. So there were other stories I told when I was trying to be the rabbi, but this story I told in the beginning because it goes like this. There was a king, and the king, of course, had a son, a prince. And the king and the son were on a journey. They were traveling in the wilderness. Now you better believe that when a king travels in the wilderness, he does not travel alone. He has an entourage. He has attendants. He has Sherpas, people who carry his stuff and who escort him through the wilderness, such that he and the prince would want for nothing. So, if this helps the story, just remember the last road trip you took to Orlando. I don't know if you had kids in the car, what that was like. So, they're traveling in the wilderness, and they're out pretty far. And lo and behold, their water supplies become somewhat depleted. And so the prince, because he's, of course, a Jewish prince, expresses his opinion about this in somewhat of a whiny fashion. I'm hungry, I'm thirsty, I want something to drink. And the king looks at his attendants and says, my son is thirsty in the wilderness, and our water supplies are depleted. How shall we get water? Well, right away, the attendants try to impress each other. So one of them says, here's what we'll do. We will dispatch our fastest horses. They will ride in 4 different directions, and they will arrive, no doubt, at some sort of water supply, a city, a lake, something. They will fill their skins with water, and they will come back, no doubt, within a day or two, your child will have water. And the king thinks for a second, okay, within a day or two, that's good. But then, right away, someone else says, well, here's what we should do, king. Let's dig a hole right here on the very spot that we stand. We'll bore through the sand. No doubt we will hit a vein of water. And the king thought for a minute and thought, that's a pretty good idea too. What should I do? And he decided that they should dig a hole. And right away the attendants started boring through the sand, first with their hands and then they started using tools. And lo and behold, by nightfall, they hit a vein of water. And the child's thirst was quenched. And he stopped whining. All seemed pretty well with the world. Now this was a prince. He's a very smart young man. So he had some questions for his father. He said first to his dad, he said, Dad, why didn't you dispatch the horses? I mean, what if the horses had found a city or a lake or some water source that was faster and I wouldn't have been thirsty as long? And the king thought, I thought about that. But then I thought, what if one day you were traveling back by here and you didn't have all the current privileges that you currently enjoy? This way there'll be a well, and you'll know that there's water. And the prince thought for a minute, oh, well, that's a good idea, Dad, but how am I going to know where this well is in the wilderness? I mean, how am I going to find it? And the king said, you're so smart, my boy. You're going to go to such a good college. He said, here's what we'll do. We'll make a map. We'll make a map, and we'll mark here on the map where the well is. In fact, here's what we'll do. Everywhere that we travel in the wilderness, we will dig wells, and we will mark them on the map so that if ever you're traveling anywhere, you will always have water to drink, to quench your thirst, and you won't whine. So, I like to tell this story as the new year approaches because I have the map. We all do. We keep it in this fancy closet we call an ark. The Torah is our map, and it guides us through the sacred calendar of the Jewish year, marking the spots where we drink from the wells of our ancestors, the knowledge that they have left behind over the years. And if you drink it right, you will want for naught, you will never whine, you will be quenched with community and with joy and with music and with all of the things that Micah has to offer. So, all of that being said, are you ready for me to open the fancy closet so that we can see the map? So let's rise again. Is there anyone, and I know the Averys will say yes to this, but you get to be a television star, they can come too, that wants to come open the doors? There's candy in it. It's like a bribe. Come open the doors. Averys, you want to come too? You can. Okay. We're going to go right to Elenu. Here we go.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'teit gedula liotzer bereshit, shelo asanu ki goyeh haratzot, v'lo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, v'gor aleinu kachol hamonam, v'nachnu korim, ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו echad.
I can't help myself because you're standing up. All right. We get everybody's attention, including the Holy One, blessed be he, we say. And we think about those people in this community, people you may know of who are observing yard sites, or those who have lost someone in the recent past. We continue this year to mourn for Rich Michelle and Henry E. Foyer, Dr. Bob Sirkin and Aidan Becker, Robert Golden, Des Zamek, Elaine Farinacci, and Rabbi Jonathan Sachs, Charlene Creeley, John Giffen, Faye Sirkin, Joyce Murray, Richard I. Bourne, and Fran Schmerling, Peggy J. West, Christopher Miller, Molly Stein, Alfred Cohen, Joseph W. Blumenthal, Leonard Basked, and Joanne Cohen, Jack Chirac, Hilda Jackman, Peter Weiss, Mary Frank, Gersha Rogers, and Rabbi Richard Hirsch. We also recall on the anniversaries of their deaths Ada Dubin, Anna Kraftmauer, Cornelia Geschweiler, Dr. Paul Ramsey Michael, Gilbert Lawrence Given Sr., Harry Zeitlin, Henry Zalman, and Herbert Abelman, Erwin Rothholtz, Jack Magestro, Catherine L. Zander, Katie Beletsky, Larry Foster, Mary E. Service, Melanie Peta Sachs, Mr. Edward Claremont, Mr. Simon Riss, Nathan Tarr, Ruth M. Bookstein, Sam Pink, and Sandra Solon, Suzanne Weinstein, Sylvia Wolf. Any other names I've neglected to mention or ones you'd like to say aloud? We join together then in the words of Kadisha Tom, our mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabba, be'alma divra kirute v'yamlich malchute, b'chayachon v'yomachon uv'chaye d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'izman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabba mevrach le'alam ulalmei almaya, V'yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitale v'yitalal shemei dekudesha brichu le'ela min kol birkata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata damiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi Shlomo Rabba min Shemaya v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. We ask, as always, that the source of peace and peace to all people who are mourning, and comfort to anyone who may be bereaved. We say one final time together. Amen. Okay, we sit briefly. As if announcements are ever that brief. Okay, so we're just running a little thin. Rabbi Lori and I have to scoot out of town tomorrow, and so there's no Torah study. Don't be crushed. Be wanting more and wanting to check it out next week. Okay, only because it's fun. And we're running a little early because I planned this for kids crawling all over this place. Let's watch the slide again and get excited. Are you ready?
Drum roll, please.
I mean, how many congregations do you know that make a hype video for the holidays? Yeah, thank you. That goes out to Hannah Pollock, who really did it in the office. Okay, choir is still practicing.
Choir is still practicing. Be here on Sunday at 4.
Okay, and what else we got? We got Mahjong that is still meeting in person on Tuesdays. We got Schmooze and Views, which you can come to virtually if you want to. We make that happen, and also meet still here. Sports Trivia takes place the first Tuesday, although in September, because of the holy days, it'll take place on the second Tuesday here in the building at 10:30. If you love us, give us your blood. So we got another blood drive coming. That being said, high holiday information is available on the holy days. We will continue to update our COVID protocols, and you should like us on socials and share, and all that sort of stuff. Last two things, I want to thank you for coming tonight for Shabbat Shebang, and I have to give a shout out. She's here undercover and masked, but our new executive director is peeking at us from in the sanctuary, so we say hi to Carrie Tapia. We cannot wait for you to come. Okay, I say we do a kiddush, we blow shofar, we do a little more music, and
All
we're
right.
eating something. All right.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'hava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lama'aseh v'reishit כי הוא יום תחילה למקרא קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת, אותנו קידשת מכל העמים, ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון, הנחלתנו Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat.
L'chaim. All right, I think we got to rise for a final song and a shofar blowing.
Okay. A 1, 2, 3, 4. Ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la la la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya 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 la 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 la
Shabbat shalom.